It is 6:47. Apologize for the delay, but we will start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Got it? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Harold Lemos. Here. Lee Sharp. Here. Kathleen DeWolf. Here. Casey Barney. Here. Fran Newton here. Lee, would you like to explain our...
I would just like to tell the public, or make a few comments that why the majority of us are dressed to honor our 150th celebration, which starts this Friday night with a secession ceremony at the gym. And the next day there will be a Civil War ball that leaves the railroad station at 4 o'clock. So some of us, in honor of our town, decided that we would dress appropriately and appreciate the committee and all the work they've done, and we look forward to participating and hope that the public as well will all participate in next week's celebration.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, were there any public comments other than the ones we're not going to read? Okay. Approval of minutes. We have a meeting on July 2nd. Are there any comments or corrections to the minutes?
I have a couple too.
I have one. Yep. Oh gosh, I'm going to be able to read these. Page 4. I might have to change out of them. Line 24. Says bottom of School Street.
Yep.
It's really on Main Street, like 102, 104 Main Street.
Yep.
So not School Street.
Okay.
What line
Right
is it?
here, line 24.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't
That's
read
okay.
these.
Get glasses you can read with.
Yes, Lee.
I just have a couple.
She's getting her new glasses on.
On page 3, under old business, line 37, she reiterated that grants are, insert the word always available for hazardous material, because the deadlines for those are always changing, and we can always meet one if we want.
All right, thank you.
And then also add 39, same paragraph, a walk through the building and be arranged by Chair Newton for the entire board.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Lee?
No, that's all I
Kathleen,
had.
did
Thank
you have anything else?
No, I didn't.
Harold? Casey, any comments?
No.
Okay, in that case, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 2nd as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consent agenda. For the week of July 2nd, the accounts payable was in the amount of $465,923. The payroll was $31,443. $15,165 was for the New Hampshire retirement. On July 9th, the payroll was $28,373. And we will sign these at the end of the meeting so that we don't waste people's time. Yes, Lee?
I have a budget question.
Sure.
Concerning this money.
Yes.
I'm not sure what our legal line was for the whole year. And
$15,000.
And how much is left of that?
I don't have that
approximately. But anyway, I just wanted to ask Charlie, I noted in the folder that we have a $2,000 bill this week for 1 week from our attorney at Mitchell's office, and I was wondering specifically what that was about.
So over the past month, we've received 38 right-to-know requests from former Selectman Tejo Singh Civilingo. I believe those are serious in nature, so we've been working with legal counsel to make sure that we properly comply with them. Some public officials just received an email this evening as another request went out that to me is pretty significant. So we've been working with counsel this month on that. That line will definitely probably go over now.
So we're going to exceed the budget?
We will exceed the budget. There's only about $9,000 left as of the end of June.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and also there's the ongoing
Taxpayer
case
money.
for the,
Yeah.
for the utility poles and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And is this impacting basically every board, commission, and department?
Every board, commission, all the public bodies, I sent emails out to all 12 that were on all the budget committee, planning board, 4th of July committee, right on down.
Police
the line.
department.
Yep, and departments, all
DPW.
staffs. Yep. So we're working with our IT for this particular request to,
It's just some
Make
of
sure we
the other
comply.
departments might not understand how important this is, that they have to respond.
Yep.
And can they can talk to you about it.
Yep, they can talk to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you have NotchNet helping us too,
Yep.
kind of isolating
Mhm.
emails. And they will all be reviewed by attorney, which again will cost more money to ensure that.
Yeah, because there's some stuff
Information
that
that's
you
pertinent.
can't just release.
Yeah.
I mean, the public, certainly within the law, can ask for any government record that we
Yeah.
have, but there is some sensitive stuff that cannot be
Right.
released. We redact some stuff that might be attorney-client privilege.
Yeah.
Some departments have information that just can't be publicly disclosed.
Right, okay. Thank you, Charlie. Keep
Thank
us
you.
posted, and we'll have to watch the entire budget now extremely carefully. Okay, department heads. Craig, I believe that you have something you would like to talk to us about?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Did you happen to
What's that?
forward
Yeah.
the contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
it.
It's
Yeah. So-
GMI contract, not
Correct. Yeah.
GMSI.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about the
GM.
typo.
Yes.
So the contract is just, it's harder and harder to get pavement companies to come in and quote us, to get 3 quotes. So a lot of towns do these contracts, especially with GMI, they do a lot of them. There's 2 or 3 local that towns that do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it just kind of locks in their labor rates for the
Okay.
next 3 years. They can't lock in the pavement rates
Yeah,
because
because that's,
right
yeah.
now, it's actually, today it just went up $2 per ton, so.
Okay,
So it doesn't lock in that, but
Yeah.
they'll lock in the labor rates for us.
okay.
If we sign this contract with them for the next 3 years.
And this doesn't violate our policy of getting bids if we go into a contract
It
like
would
this?
supersede your policy.
Well,
Okay.
go ahead. I think he went out for bid.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
so-
you went out for a bid to get a contract too?
I did not, no.
Okay.
But our council wrote this contract.
Okay, I just
Oh,
want to make
okay.
sure that
This
this
isn't
isn't
from them, this
going
is
to come
from
back
us.
to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
bite us because
No,
we don't
no,
want.
actually,
Yeah.
they sent us a contract, our council rewrote it to
Perfect.
what, to meet our needs.
Yeah,
And then they said, yeah, we'll sign it, no problem. So they've signed it.
Yeah.
And it just needs your signature. But yeah, it would just, what I'm trying to get at is to avoid trying to get 3 bids because if I have a road to do in town.
yeah,
Just because it takes so much time and I've called a bunch of different places and they like, we're too busy, there's not enough paving companies in town to,
okay,
in the area to come up and do a small road.
right,
And which is what we're gonna do all the time.
Right.
So it would be better for you guys to sign a contract, and that's the story I got from a couple different paving companies.
Can you just give the people some of the particulars of the contract, Craig?
Well, it's gonna lock in the labor rates, and
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, but.
Okay. Well, here it says, that was from the period of
yeah.
July 1st, 2018 to July 1st, 2021. Reclaim existing asphalt, $1.35 per SY, whatever that is.
Square foot.
Square yard. Ah.
Square yard.
Okay. Supply and install machine binder cores, $65.87 per ton. Supply and install hand private asphalt, $132 per ton. Trim transition joints, $4 per linear foot.
Yeah, must be.
Provide flaggers, $27 per hour. Curb patch, $250 per ton.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so another key aspect for this is, basically Craig can, or we can back out when we want to.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
We're not
We can back out.
obligated.
okay.
So if for some
If they
reason
don't-
I find another paving company that is cheaper than
Yeah.
that, I can use them.
Or if they
Okay.
don't provide the
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, we're
then-
not obligated
Yeah,
to use
okay.
them.
So
Good.
Comments
good.
or a motion from the board?
My only concern is this isn't the company that did Collins Street when no one else would do it.
this isn't, what do you mean?
Brian Pavin did Collins Street Bridge when no one else would do it. And GMI was one of the people that was asked to do it. So I
The
think,
Collins Street Bridge?
yes.
You mean the, I don't know.
before his time.
That was kind of an emergency situation, and I mean, I wasn't on the board then, I don't know what happened, but I know we needed to get it done ASAP.
It was late in the season,
It was late in the season, you know, I mean, it could have been a bunch of reasons why they didn't do it,
It
but,
could have been, Harold, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But that was several years
Well,
ago.
my only fear is binding effect. The covenants and the considerations contained in this agreement shall apply to and bind the parties and their heirs, legal representatives, successors, and permitted assigns to the parties. So we could sign this, and whoever gets elected as selectman next March, the March after that, is legally bound by this contract. I think that's undemocratic.
Well, that's usually, when we enter multi-year contracts, that's always the case. But we
But
always.
we enter multi-year contracts with our employees, not outside agencies.
No, that's not true. We enter contracts with cable companies, with phone companies.
Well, look where that's got us.
Actually, the first contract they gave us was a lot less detailed than
Yeah.
what that one is.
That's very detailed.
Which the first one didn't even have any of that, so that's coming from our lawyer.
Yeah. And again, you said that we can get out of this contract. If a subsequent board
It says it,
decides we
yeah.
don't want it anymore, then they can vote to
But it just
throw
said I
it
don't have
out.
to use them.
Yeah,
I can use anybody
Yeah.
I
So
want.
they
Okay.
kind of,
Okay.
But what I'm trying to get at is it locks the labor rate.
it locks the labor rate, and
every year.
that's why we enter into multi-year contracts, is for savings, not for any other reason, although this would ensure us getting a paving company to get our work done too,
Right,
so.
yep.
we wouldn't have to wait in a queue.
No.
If you contacted them and said, a month from now, we want to pave Winter Street.
Smith Hill Road.
Smithfield. And
Yeah.
they say, well, we're really busy, you know, you're gonna have to wait like 3 months. You would say, well,
We can find somebody
we don't-
else.
yeah,
We can find somebody
Yeah.
else, so they're gonna try to work with us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because their schedule does fill up as the
Yeah.
year goes on, so.
So it's wise for you to have your plan in place.
Right, absolutely,
And to
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
it, present it to them so
Yeah.
they know
absolutely.
this is
right.
what's coming up for the next
We're
year.
a little late this year for it, but,
Yeah.
but once I get this locked in, then I can move forward and present a few things to you guys. so.
Any other comments or questions? Casey, Lee?
No?
I mean, I don't really see any downside,
Okay.
because if we can get out of it at any point,
Yeah.
it just-
Right,
it
that's
makes
key.
it more streamlined
Yeah.
to get things done.
Right.
And if you do find someone cheaper, you can just go with them.
Right.
And really,
Okay.
I see that you'd be worried about like a different board having to deal with it, but that's more or less what we're up here for, is to determine what we think's best for the
Every
town.
time
Right,
we're sitting here.
That's right.
Thank you, Casey.
Can you move a little closer? We can't hear you.
I can try.
Any other comments or a motion to approve the contract?
I'll make the motion to accept the contract as presented.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Harold?
We
Any other comments?
haven't had anybody else come forward that wants to work with you. I just find it just seems like we're pigeonholing ourselves, that's all.
No, actually, I've had a hard time. People are so busy.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
The
Yeah,
only
it's a
that's,
other
rough time of
person that
year.
would come and bid was Bryant, and they're small. And they didn't, I really, personally, I didn't like the kind of work
if you
we
look
did
at River Street, I think there's no
Yeah.
comparison from
They
one
just don't
side
have
to the
real
other. Yeah,
big
yeah. I think
equipment.
GMI did an excellent job.
GMI's, what I've seen in my, what I have down in the office, they've always come in as low as anybody, and
Yeah.
they do good work,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. It would be approved, and I assume, Charlie, you have the original, and I'll sign
Did Harold
that.
say nay?
He said nay, yes. Okay. Old truck, sealed bid.
yeah, so we got Lee's truck, the truck we bought at auction.
Yep.
That's all up and running, no problems, it's
Great.
going fine. So
Yep.
now that though everything's been taken off, the skip tank, the diesel pump,
Yep.
everything's transferred over. I got the 2 old trucks sitting down there, so.
Okay.
Unless you wanna put them to the state bid, I'd like to just get rid of them on sealed bid, and put them out there for a month and see if we can get rid of them. They're
Okay.
just sitting there in the way right now.
So motion to allow the trucks to be sold by sealed bid.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, go for it. All right. Before I call on you, Charlie, I believe Dave Toth, as a department head, has an update. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to give the select board and the town an update on our progress with the septic receiving station. I have here the 90% design drawings. So you can see it's my little show and tell.
Nice.
These drawings are, we reviewed them today, and we'll be giving our comments back to Woodard and Kern on Wednesday when we meet with them. They're also down at DES for their review, so we are just about finished with the design at this point.
Woodard and Curran coming to the office, or is that
They're coming to the office
On-
this Wednesday if anybody wants to come.
at 9 o'clock?
They'll be here at 10, I believe.
Oh, 10, okay.
But the meeting does start at 9. Just to remind everybody what the project is all about, we are building a new septic receiving station, and it includes a new headworks, which involves a cement pad and also the concrete flume and flume internal bypass. There is a metal building involved in it, electrical control panels, our SCADA system, which is our the remote control systems and warning systems. And in this case, it's for both the water system and the sewer system. They need to be compatible. We are having solar heat installed, and something that wasn't in the original design is the influent bypass coming in from Collins Street. So that's what the building project entails. Some people have said, well, why is this taking so long? Here's one of the reasons. The contracts. We have to go out with a number of separate contracts, and we have separate funding sources. So water and sewer is paying directly for some of the services. Some of the services will be paid for by a DES SRF loan, and some of the services are going to be paid for by the Northern Borders grant. So we had to issue these, issue various contracts for different parts of the project. So far, we have awarded the building contract to Constructs. They were the only bidder on the building. We tried to get several other companies to bid on it, and nobody did. We have 3 pieces of equipment that we are going to purchase. One of them provides filtration for septic, one for town sewage, and one is a grit chamber, which takes both septic and town sewage and removes the grit from it. Those bids are out. We've received the bids. We know what they are. We'll be reviewing those on Wednesday as well. And I have the low bid information for you. The contract for SCADA, we're going to be signing that. We're going to be getting that revised contract on Wednesday and reviewing that for signature. We have to replace some of the SCADA equipment before construction starts, so that we can hook the SCADA equipment for the new building into the equipment that has to be replaced. The contract for the general contractor and concrete, that's under DES review right now. And that's another reason why the process takes so long, is DES reviews contracts, and they review technical specifications as well. when they do the grants, they're doing the SRF loan as well. So all those sort of fit together. We have been awarded one asset management contract for drinking water. The clean water asset management contract is still under review by DES. The loan status. I just heard from DES today about the status of our SRF loan for the building. They want me to come back and get the town administrator to sign the paperwork that we turned in, that we had approved last. So,
Wow.
All right.
so that's where we are on that. That's pretty much of a done deal. I said the asset management for drinking water was awarded, and the one for clean water, which seems like it would be drinking water, but it's not.
Yeah, I know.
That one's.
Can I ask you a question about that before you go, Dave? Do you have time frames on when you have to take the SRF? So, do you know what I mean? Do they give you a deadline? Do you have to start accepting funds?
We have.
Because if you don't have everything else in place, you know, what happens?
We have deadlines for the asset management loans. The asset management work has to be done by May of 2019. So we have a schedule for that, and that, according to the schedule, it looks like that work is going to be done by the end of December if the awards are on time. As far as the plant goes, I'm not aware of what the deadline is for using that funding is at the moment. As you can see here, the schedule calls for completion of the project down here in the March-April timeframe. So this is just an overview of the schedule. We have a very detailed schedule, but right now we're working on a 90% design review, and they're going to be finalizing that. That should be done in August. September, October timeframe, the contract award for GC and concrete, and we intend to begin site work and the concrete work shortly after contract award there. November, December is the period that they've marked out for building construction. January and February, equipment delivery. We've got the bids for the equipment now because it takes 8 to 12 weeks for them to manufacture and deliver the equipment.
They're going to be able to work through the snow?
Yeah, really.
We're not gonna have any snow.
March and April, hopefully we get our plant start up in March, and the final completion,
Probably know how
and
to.
acceptance of the plant sometime in April. So that gives people an idea of what the time frame is. Again, you know, people who are asking why does it take so long? This has been the schedule all the way along. We've had a 2-week delay now because of DES reviews that were unexpected. So that's where we are. It is a pretty tight schedule, and that's one of our concerns as commissioners. Here's what we have for costs so far. We have an engineering contract for $200,000. They are also providing grant and funding support for us. Without their support for doing all this paperwork, we'd still be filling in forms. So we have that. The building bid came in at a little more than $95K. The low bids for the equipment, $230K for the septic filtration equipment, $68K for the town, and $154 for the grid chamber. The SCADA contract right now is for $141K. We're not sure what the bypass is, and this bypass takes the lines that come in from Collins Street. There's an existing bridge chamber in Collins Street, which we are going to dig up, or we're going to bypass that chamber and take it out of service. And so we need another way to bypass the plant while we're under construction, and also for future operations if we have to resurface the flume for any reason. So basically we have two 20-inch pipes running into the plant from the town sewage side. That's going into some sort of a box, perhaps. We're not sure. And the flow in there will be redirected, or we can redirect the flow to either go into the flume or bypass the station and go into the go into the lagoons. Yes, go into the lagoons while we are under construction and doing repairs. We haven't got a price for the general contractor. Concrete, we have a rough idea that it's going to cost about $250,000 for the concrete work, which will include the flume, the bypass, the pad, and the solar heating tubing. And the total so far is $1.2 million, which gives us a lot of leeway. The original estimate was $2.2 million with about $400,000 in contingencies. So I think we're in very good shape at this point.
Sorry, wait a minute. Can you say that again?
What?
You're way under budget?
So far. Now, we don't have all of the costs in place yet.
That's good.
If you
And-
notice that there are a couple of question marks.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Those could be high money items.
And the piece of equipment that we really wanted in here, or that we prefer, is another $100,000 over this piece. So the cost can ramp up pretty quickly. DES has now told us that we need an engineer on site during the construction. And that was not what we were told originally. So that's going to increase our costs. So we're always running into these cost things, and we're really not sure about what the bypass is going to require, or how we're going to finalize that design. So there are a number of questions that still have to be answered. And here's our major concern, other than the bypass, is our delays at this point. And the critical piece, again, other than the bypass, which has to be done before any work starts on the building, are delays that will cause delays in getting the concrete work done. I do not want to pour concrete in the wintertime. So those are our major concerns as well. The start date for construction is around the middle of September right now. That doesn't really give us a lot of latitude. So if we have to delay the project, that's going to increase the cost of a lot of the building and so forth. And we will have to figure out how we have to jockey all these pieces around in order to deal with any significant delays. So that's where we are at this point. So thank you very much for allowing us to come in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Charles, if you don't mind, I just have one question regarding your solar. Have you guys applied for any grants for that? Is that something that you can get even though you're part of a municipal entity? Does that make it easier for you to get
That was
grants?
part of the Northern Borders grant.
Okay, so it did help you out that.
Yeah.
And you said it's a it's a solar to water heater. Now, down the road, if things change as far as the politics in town, would that give you the ability, would you have enough roof space to go solar to panel if you guys wanted to use your own electricity to power this unit? It looks like it's going to be a pretty good sized building.
It's not really that big. It's not, it's just, it's about 12 feet longer than the existing building.
Oh, okay.
So there's not a lot of room up there.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I just
Yes.
have one. What was the reason again for changing the, in the beginning you said the effluent from Collins Street? What was the reason? Why was that reason?
Why are we changing that?
Yeah.
There's an existing grid chamber on David Santucci's property, so if you're going across the bridge and you see that little gravel thingy there, that's the existing grid chamber. And that's an old grid chamber, there's been problems with it in the past. So
Okay.
basically, we're going to go around that chamber and seal it off.
Okay.
And then we needed a way to take the influence from the town and go around the station during construction. And as we looked at the, and the first plan was to get some flexible hosing and a pump and pump around, which is fairly expensive to rent a pump for the amount of time that it takes. And also there is the danger of, a broken hose or something like that, which really creates a lot of problems. And so we decided that we would run piping around the station. We have to pipe into the station anyway, so we would just put a bypass around so that we could use that during construction and also use that when we have to refurbish the flume.
Okay. Very good.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the
Thanks,
update.
Dave.
Yeah,
Oh, we got a question from David.
yes, David.
Town equipment, you said.
What?
Town equipment?
No, it's town sewage.
Town sewage.
Town sewage.
Oh. The equipment?
No.
No.
One of the pieces of equipment, one of the filtration units is for town sewage. And the other one, which is the bigger piece,
Oh, I see.
is
Yeah.
for septic.
They told me that at one of the meetings. That's what
Any questions from the audience? Okay, good.
Excited.
All right, thanks for the update and keep us posted. Town administrator, building
Yes.
permit fees?
I have a request before the board to see if we want to move forward with having a public hearing to update our building permit fees. Warrant Article 42 was passed this year that granted authority to the Board of Selectmen to amend Article 15 of the Ashland Building Regulations. We have discussed this issue or topic in the past. And that article basically clarified the authority. A snapshot of what's been happening is our building permit fees haven't been updated since 2007. Primarily, the position should be funded by the fees. We appropriate $22,609 for the department and only collected $8,736 in fees, causing a $13,873 shortfall for the that we had to, go out for taxation. So if the fees were increased a little bit, we would have less of a tax impact.
Comments from the board, questions or motion?
What is this fee schedule?
Those
What we
are
have-
just-
What we have now?
Those are suggestions?
Suggested.
Yeah.
Suggestions, okay.
The motion is just to have
A
a
public
public
hearing.
hearing, because we
Yeah.
have to have a public hearing.
I believe our building inspector had given us this list, hadn't he?
Yes.
Based on experience from another town, and these are things that we can consider. I know that the
Yeah.
planning board in the past had reviewed these and tried to match what we have versus what was on this list, and there were some things that were out of sync, so, we need to make sure that we're all okay with the numbers that we choose and what's appropriate for this town.
Right.
So, okay, is there any more comments or a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion to have a public hearing concerning the increase of the town building permit fees.
Is there a second?
I'll second. I just had a quick question.
Yeah, I had a question
That's
too.
for discussion. Go ahead.
The public hearing, that's, I assume would just be held in one of our meetings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Are we presenting figures?
I think we're
At
going
the
to need
public
to
hearing?
have a meeting and
I-
probably
Yeah.
in collaboration with the planning board to go over these fees and come up with a proposal, Charlie.
Well, we have
Yes,
to give-
Susan.
We washed our hands of it when we gave.
I know. I understand you
I guess
did.
not then.
Yeah, we did.
So you don't want any input on it at all? I mean,
Well,
even
we
as technical
advised-
advisors?
Yeah, well, we advised at the time that we didn't say not to raise any
Yeah.
of them. We said we still were lacking the information that we had asked for.
Right.
About whether he wanted to raise every fee or
Mhm.
whether there was an analysis of what brings in what he spends the most time on
Mhm.
and what kind of square footage we're talking about.
Mhm.
Because commercial in Ashland is not the same as commercial in Tilton.
Right, correct,
So,
correct.
so we went through that whole process.
I know.
We asked a lot of questions, we got very few answers. Um,
Do we still have the list of questions? I mean, that history and that,
I don't.
background would be really
You
useful.
guys haven't sent it to me. I
How
don't
can
know
we
if
have
I
a
do.
public hearing if we have nothing to
No, we
present?
have to, we obviously have to sit down and
Yeah.
come up with a list of fees before we
And
take it
that's
to
what
the
I was
public.
asking.
Susan's all
That's
ready.
advice.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
Well, that's what I'm asking, we don't
All
have
right.
anything.
So we should schedule fairly,
See, I was
fairly
the town
soon.
administrator then.
No, we should schedule a meeting to go over this, at maybe a next work session to go over these
Okay.
fees,
Do you
okay?
think we need something standalone session just to do?
We might,
Yeah.
we might need a standalone
So
session.
if we do a public hearing, we have to come up with a decision at that meeting? It's
We
not
have
like-
to,
it's not
we
like
have to have
we
something
can-
to present to the
Yeah.
public. So we obviously need to do our homework before we go to the public. We
Yeah,
can't just
so
say, so what do you think,
I don't
guys?
know if next
You know?
meeting's the best.
No, I don't think so either.
Oh, no, it's too fast.
Too fast,
Yeah,
no.
okay.
Just-
Well, we should, think about it, we should probably
All right, I'll
schedule
review
a
this
work,
and
we
then
should,
send it to you.
review that,
Okay.
Charlie, and
All
get
right.
back to us, and we can either schedule the standalone meeting to just do this piece,
Yeah.
or if you think we can do it quickly, we can do it at a work
So we need
session.
to retract that motion?
No, the motion is still
No,
to move
it's
forward
still
with a
the
public
public
hearing, we
hearing.
just haven't set a date yet.
Okay, all
Okay?
right.
Do we have to vote on the motion then?
You have to vote on the motion, we do, absolutely. All those in favor of, unless there's any other discussion? No, all those in favor of holding a public hearing to address our building permit fees, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that will be a goal. Date to be determined. Okay, recognitions?
Should we have had that in the motion, it to be determined?
Well, the motion was just to hold a public hearing, but,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. What recognitions, Charlie?
Okay, so I received a compliment for the outstanding work that our public work guys have completed that we wanted to read. It's from Carol Fucarell.
Fucarell. Fucarell.
Sorry if I mispronounced
It's
that.
okay. It took me a while to pronounce it correctly.
Fucarell. All right. Carol wrote, "Good morning, Craig. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough for straightening out the drainage problem on the Smith Hill Road. We waited 11 years. You came along and corrected it in one day and at no material cost to the taxpayers. You and your employees worked in a neat, polite, and professional way. The camaraderie was obvious as you all got the job done. It's awesome to see you and your staff take such pride in the work. The town of Ashland has found an asset in you. Thank you very much, David and Carol Fucarell."
Nice.
Thank you.
Good job, Craig.
As a
Very nice.
resident on that street, I
And
would
his
also
employees.
like to
And
add
your
my
employees.
thanks, because now when you turn onto that street, you don't bottom out. And it's, for those of us who have to drive up it every day, it's much appreciated. Okay,
Very nice.
anything else, Charlie?
Yes,
All
I
right.
also want to thank the volunteer, well, I have a list, but I was warned not to say it in case I forgot someone. So instead, I'll circumvent that and say thank you to all the volunteers for Squamstock and for the 4th of July parade and the 4th of July events.
Excellent, yes.
So thank you,
Most
everyone.
definitely, thank you.
And if there's anyone that wants to continue to volunteer, the 150th committee could use a few
Yes.
volunteers for the parade.
Okay.
I attended the 4th of July meeting, and I encouraged them to please come
Reach out.
to a select board meeting and give a full account.
Yeah,
And Sue Harrell said she would be
Good.
glad to do that.
okay.
Nice.
All right, excellent.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
She was your liaison to your liaison that day.
Oh, okay, thank you, Harold. New business, is there any new business? Don't see any? Okay, old business, project list.
Project list. Okay, so our TAP grant, no new updates there, nor with the Thompson Street water, I mean, we're still waiting to hear back. Backtrack, the TAP grant, Mike's still working on the design, and we're still waiting to hear back from the folks at DES about our application for SRF funding.
Okay, on the TAP grant, you're going to have a separate item, because we submitted a letter of intent for the next one.
Oh, that's below.
That's
Yeah,
below, okay.
That's in another.
All right, should have
Yep.
turned the page,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. No updates on the mill building.
No, but there will be, I think we have rescheduled the update for the public for the first meeting in August. I remember we had to cancel it for last meeting because certain people couldn't attend. And that will be an update on this joint meeting and next steps.
That's like August 7th.
I don't have my calendar.
No,
Whatever.
I'll just add it to the agenda.
Okay, yeah, add it to
The
the
sixth.
agenda, and I will confirm
Okay.
with the Economic Development Committee that
Yep. put it
And
on
when
the
are we going to
agenda.
have our sidewalk?
I have to speak with a few people about that. I haven't done anything because I was otherwise occupied all last week. But I will consult with Chief Heath and see if I can't ask him what he can accommodate and get in touch with the board and try to find a date or a time. I know that might be difficult for you, Casey, but if we give you enough notice, it's important that you see it.
When is this?
We haven't scheduled it yet,
What's
so.
the earliest you can get back here to do a delightful
If
guided tour through the mill?
my normal hours are 8 to 5.
Okay. I will talk to Chief Heath and then get back to the board, and we'll try to set up a date within the next few weeks to go tour the lovely mill.
You have to sit, you have to.
Yeah.
We're closed-toed
You have to-
shoes.
Yeah,
Me
you
too.
have to be there to, you
Okay.
can't understand it until you've been through it.
Yeah.
The L-CHIP, we have a joint meeting with Williams Architect this
On
Wednesday.
11 o'clock,
Everyone
correct?
remember? Yeah. Don't forget to complete your questionnaires. The GIS mapping, the town parcel audit, that won't get going really until December. The town personnel policy, we thought it'd probably be best to table that until 2019 to coincide with the new CBA, because there's been questions back and forth constantly. Well, what does the CBA say? Well, what does the personnel policy say? Well, since we're going to renegotiate the CBA, maybe we just get together and collaborate.
What's
to
a
make
CBA, so people know?
collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
Town office building maintenance, we did receive a couple quotes for the flooring, but it was sort of determined it's probably best to put that on hold too until after the L-CHIP study comes
Yeah,
back, because
absolutely.
if we do something and the L-CHIP says we have to redesign the building in some particular way, it's almost kind of a waste.
Okay.
Okay. That is a priority though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Town building telecommunications, Spectrum has finally disconnected the cable internet at the town office building, so
And how much did you save?
quite a bit.
Tell everybody
Yeah.
how much you
Okay,
saved.
so probably saved the town $5,000.
Good, we need
That's
it
a lot
for
of speed
legal.
bumps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were able to work it out to basically kind of get out of we had a 3-year agreement with them, and they were able to work with us.
Good job, Charlie.
Yes, because you know how they don't like
I
to
know,
do that.
Yeah.
I know, excellent, excellent work.
So we could probably take that one off, I guess.
I would hope so.
Okay, archive that.
Speed bump on Levitt Hill Road, DPW installed crossing and warning signs, and I believe the police department has been patrolling that area more often.
Chief, you have any comments you'd like to make on that?
No, we're trying to get over there as much as we can.
Okay, appreciate it.
It's limited, I mean, it's got a bunch of different people complaining about speeders in their area now, so.
Yeah.
Do we currently have?
When you're doing that, you still gotta respond to calls that.
Yeah,
come in,
I
too. So
understand.
Sometimes it's limited. You go there to sit, and then all of a sudden you get called and go somewhere
Yep,
else. So we're
yep.
trying-
Well, we appreciate your efforts.
but We're working on it.
Yep, okay.
Did we have any speed bumps put in when we had the little green men filled up? There's currently no speed bumps.
No speed bumps.
No, we don't even have any.
Just
They
green
could-
men, right?
Yeah.
No updates on the Whipple House agreement.
Could I,
Sure.
so could all the information be provided for the board by the probably September work session so we can review it? Because the Historical Society, you have your yearly meeting in November, correct? Your board meeting?
Yeah, well, it's
Annual meeting.
Annual meeting, yeah.
membership
It
meetings
is
in
November.
November,
To
but
give them.
board meetings are more common.
Okay, and could you provide those dates to Charlie, the work meetings? So we can
Generally, the
coordinate with
third
you, yeah.
Thursday of the month. Third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday of the month.
Yeah.
So we can review the will, the warrant article, and the lease. It hasn't been updated since 1978, I
Oh.
believe. Just to
Oh,
make
wow.
sure the language
Yep.
is up to date and
Yep.
everything's copacetic,
Yep.
and have the Historical Society, we can have a meeting with them and discuss how they feel about it and what the future plans are, because
Okay.
the town owns the building.
Yeah.
The Historical Society leases it from the town.
Right,
Right.
okay.
And then there's a sublease to a tenant. So
Yes.
that's why I think that it's time for the language and the lease to be updated.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen.
The building permit fees, we just talked about that. And there's the grant opportunities. I made sure to add that we did submit the letter of interest
Okay.
to NHDOT, and now we just wait to let them send us the application.
Yeah. So we need to put together a subcommittee. I obviously want Greg, you to be a part of it, and the old gang that did the original TAP grant, we can sit down and hammer out where we want to go with this. I believe this grant is also for $400,000, so, we can't just do a piece of West Street and be done with it. I mean, we need to look at the whole project. But we've got a lot of places that we could consider to write up for this TAP grant that the town is badly in need of, so.
Can I speak to that?
Absolutely.
I think back in March, I put my name forward. I believe you did too, Dave, and Walter Durack, that we were willing to
Great.
be part of the advisory.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
okay, that's great.
I believe Walter sent in a letter
Okay.
of intent, but
Yep.
we hadn't formulated.
You mean the ATAC group?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think that's a perfect venue for this sort of thing. We can, call another meeting and, get some input from a few other people. And like I said, I definitely want Craig there to assess the needs of the town and come up with a plan. When is the application itself due, Charlie?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
They haven't told me yet.
Okay. We need to get on top of this, though, because we'll need to write the grant.
I mean,
Okay.
we did tell them the roads. Craig already,
As he has mentioned some
Yes.
roads, yeah. West Street, Winter Street, Winona, yeah, those
Yeah,
are
I
the
think-
obvious ones we
I
need
think
to
the
think
ones he
about.
pointed out were on the top of the list, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
And on the last one, solar energy, I hope to have a preliminary report in September.
Okay,
So I shared with Lee at the Electric Commissioners meeting the other night, Mr. Foley, the superintendent, said he had quite a bit of solar information, and would I pass that message on to Lee? So
yep,
I have it.
okay, excellent, thank you. Look forward to hearing that, Lee.
Very nice.
Okay, Town of Ashland Appreciation Day. As you recall, last year, sponsored by the Heritage Commission, we did have a volunteer appreciation day, and we installed the memorial from Rumpool. And we vowed that we would make this an annual event. So I have this letter from the Heritage Commission. At the Heritage Commission meeting held on Tuesday, July 10th, 2018, there was a discussion regarding the Commission's role in the planning and execution of the Appreciation Day event. The event was originated by the Board of Selectmen in 2017. The commissioners met with Chair Newton to plan the inaugural event and agreed to sponsor it, providing volunteers and refreshments. For this year's event, the commission is waiting for guidance from the Board of Selectmen. At the commission's July meeting, there were a few suggestions discussed. A workday to clean up and reorganize the old jail for better and more accessible storage of community materials, primarily for the Christmas night in Ashland event, coordinating with the police department and the DPW as necessary. A town-wide party, this could be done in conjunction with the cleanup. Have a barbecue coordinated with the Ashland Community Church, which is planning such an event, and meet with other organizations and groups in town for full participation. There was a consensus that a September date, possibly Saturday the 22nd, would be a good date. So I would like the board to weigh in on these comments, and we need to think about moving forward with this.
I know the Heritage Commission, we kind of earmarked the old jail because that's where the Christmas night in Ashland totes are kept, and they are not easy to access. But it was interesting that Kendall B. Hughes, who's a new member to the Heritage Commission, brought up that it's not the Baptist Church, the Ashland Community Church is having a function. And it would probably be nice to coordinate with another entity in town and join with them and celebrate together with them. So that was a new idea.
Is their event any kind of fundraising? Because we'd have to stay away from that.
No,
This is just a party.
I believe it was just a barbecue.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they give them free, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't mention.
Okay, I just, we
no.
don't want to get involved with
I
any
know, when you
fundraising
said that, I was
from
like,
a
no,
community,
no,
from a church,
no,
so,
no.
Well,
yeah.
conversely, we were involved with them for the 4th of July, where
Yeah.
they were doing fundraising on our town property, so we're already kind of doing fundraising.
Well, but they were doing-
circumventing type of way.
Yeah, all right, they were doing their own fundraising.
And then they
but-
cut us a
yeah.
check afterwards.
Oh, well, that's nice, okay.
So-
So,
So
that's fine.
it was just,
Yeah,
it was broached, so.
yeah, that's good.
That's what it's on
Thoughts,
here.
yes,
I have another idea.
okay.
We've talked about this before when we filmed a tour, Susan and I and Katie of Town Hall.
Yeah,
Don't go to the third floor, don't go.
No, I asked,
About cleaning up the third floor.
oh yeah, I broached that subject quite a while ago. and it
Okay,
was- no,
apparently we're not discussing
Yeah.
that, so,
Because it has town records in it.
Yeah.
They cannot be touched.
Oh.
yeah, okay.
Right, yeah.
So-
The PD recently pretty much cleaned out the old jail.
Oh, that's nice, so we can,
Yes,
There you go.
I'll speak to that.
okay,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great segment.
Actually, with the help from DPW,
yeah,
and the graciousness of the select board signing off to get rid of all those bikes in there over
Yeah.
Joe Mazzone.
yes,
Last week, the jail got cleaned out, all the bikes are gone.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
There was a bunch of stuff that
Nice.
came out of old Crown Vics and old radio stuff that just needed to be tossed.
good,
And so we cleaned, it's all been cleaned out. We still have
Wow.
some stuff in there because the police department does use that building, but if you were to go over there and look in the window, you're gonna see that it's been cleaned out.
yeah.
And the wall's
Does
been,
it still
and the
need-
wall's been fixed.
Does it still need organizing?
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna,
And
well,
on the shelves?
part of the thing is if people are gonna use it for the Christmas night national stuff, the stuff needs to be organized in a
Right, yes,
fashion where
right.
they can get to it.
Yep,
Well,
yeah.
certain parts of it.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of it, the lower shelves have been cleaned
Yeah,
off. We do still have some stuff in there.
okay,
And so we should look at that just about an organizational thing.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
been cleaned out.
Well, that's great,
So
that
I
makes the
don't-
job
I don't know
easier.
I don't know how good it's gonna work out for the function of.
Well, but if we
It would-
combined it
wouldn't
with
take-
a
it wouldn't take
barbecue,
all
it wouldn't
day,
take that
though.
long.
yeah, it wouldn't take
No,
all
that's
day.
what I
When
mean.
we
Shouldn't
did
it
the
take
town-
longer than an hour?
When we did the town hall last year, the amount of work we did, I mean, thanks to DPW, who
Yeah.
had, come and done a lot of stuff we'd already planned.
Right.
It was a good opportunity just to celebrate the town.
Yeah.
So, we get some volunteers in there and organize the Christmas decorations and have a
that also
barbecue.
includes the area around the jail,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
out the grass and
Sure,
stuff like that, the leaves.
I think
and-
we can come up with a list of
So we
things.
still use that for, technically bikes are evidence when we
Yeah.
log them in, and it's still gonna
Yeah.
go in there because we have no other places
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
So we're gonna need some of the room in there.
I guess
Oh,
maybe
sure.
organize the old jail instead of clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does need some organization, because I know some of the Christmas night national stuff is way up top, it really shouldn't be. for people to climb in there to get the stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
didn't
there's
even
no
know we had
ladder in
any in
there,
there.
when you get up there, so it's.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a great idea, and we ought to, plan this. And
Okay.
I do like the date of September 22nd. With any luck, it's not going to be really hot.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good day.
yeah,
That's
last
a
year
good
was
day.
hot, remember?
Yeah, it was. So, I think the plan is good. We can talk to the community church and find out if, they're interested in coordinating with us for a barbecue as well.
So
Okay.
should this be put on maybe an action list? So we
It
can
should be.
Yes, we can address it
It
at our
it
next
absolutely
meeting.
should be.
And then by,
And invite anybody from the Heritage Commission or the public, if they have ideas or thoughts or would like to volunteer
Yeah.
to help us out,
and then
let us know.
maybe by the first week of September meeting, we know exactly when we're going to do it
Yep,
and what we're going to do.
yep. That sounds good. Is that okay? We need a motion?
Is that going to
Move
be on
forward?
Saturday?
It is a
Yeah,
Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah.
When is the townwide yard sale? Do you know?
Oh, gosh,
Oh,
David.
yeah.
The week before.
It's
The week before?
The week
Okay,
before.
yeah,
Oh, it's the third Saturday.
okay.
Okay. I just didn't want to conflict.
No, you're absolutely right.
So-
So can we have a motion to move forward with the plan for the second annual Town of Ashland Appreciation Day?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, citizen complaint form.
No,
Or
it's not a
concerned citizen
complaint
form,
form.
whatever.
Yes.
We're going
need
to
to
correct
change-
that,
Yes, we need to update the language.
Yes.
I gave everybody a model that I did, and I think rather than going through the whole thing and reading it tonight, that maybe we should take this home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
everybody can go over it and make their suggestions and write on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at our next work session,
Okay.
I think we should discuss it.
Yeah, I think that's
This
good,
is just
Lee.
something
This
to
is-
work
yeah,
on.
no,
This is a rough draft,
I
right?
appreciate
Right,
it.
it's
It's
a rough
easier to
draft.
work from a draft than to, start.
And I just want people to know that hopefully it'll be called Town of Ashland Resident Inquiry Form.
Yep,
A courtesy document.
yep.
Ms. Sharps, I have a typo.
Yes,
Yeah, there's
received.
quite a few.
Yeah, received.
Get your
I
red
saw.
pen out, Harold,
Yeah.
and the next time we get together, you
I
can
know.
Box.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, there's quite a few.
Few, yeah.
But thank you for that work. We
Yes,
Okay.
because
appreciate it.
this
is
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
put it on the
stuff.
next agenda.
Okay.
You skipped resignation. Heritage
Did.
Committee.
Oh, so I
Resignation.
did, resignation. Do you have the
I didn't
email,
have a
Charlie?
form,
Yeah.
Katie Marr
Yeah.
had stepped down from the Heritage Commission, and Lee Sharps
Yeah,
did
Lee
too.
Sharps. Okay.
Something
so-
along the lines of, due to political, professional obligations, she could no longer fulfill her statutes and requirements put before her by the town of Ashland.
Yeah.
And I just
But we
want to
need a
say,
board member. to be
mine
the-
was not political at all. I'm just on a lot of committees, and I needed to cut back on it, especially since we have a new vacation home that we're working on, and I just need to cut back.
Okay.
So-
You're still on it? Yes, no?
No, I'm not
You're not.
a member, but I was the alternate, so for the time being,
You would be
I'll
the
be
liaison?
the liaison
Okay.
until anything. any other
Okay, I would
changes.
be happy to be the alternate for the time being.
Do you want to be the ex officio?
No.
I guess you made that clear.
I will be the alternate, and I will try to
Okay.
attend the meetings.
So I'll make sure if I can't attend the meeting,
Yes, you
I
will let me know.
let you know.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. All right, liaison reports,
I have one.
okay?
Planning Board, last week, we discussed and approved a boundary line adjustment for 4 lots, eliminating 1 lot on Ridge Road at Squam River Landing in the rural residential zone. We reviewed updates and corrections to our rules of procedure, site plan review, application, and the zoning ordinance. We decided to review the issues of floodplain, home occupation, special exceptions, and signs at a previous meeting, and we decided last week that we would start with discussing signs, and that'll be at our next work session, that whole section in the ordinance. Mainly because we've had several public inquiries about how many signs are allowed on a property and how long a construction/repair or roofing advertising sign is allowed to stay on a customer's lawn. So we're going to be discussing, those will be some of our subjects.
Okay.
And our next meeting isn't until August 1st because we had a cancellation.
Okay. Thank you, Lee.
And I just wanted to mention, and I meant to do it in the beginning of the meeting, that our whole 150th celebration schedule is on the town website, ashland.newhampshire.gov. So people should print that out and take a look at it, and that's where you can get all our final information.
Great, thank you.
I don't have any liaison report because
He just
told
gave
did it.
Yeah.
I did go to the electric department's public hearing as a ratepayer, so
Okay.
I do not have a liaison report.
Okay.
But the only thing I will report is electric rates for residential will be going up a half a cent starting in
Per
September.
kilowatt, oh,
Yes.
okay. Casey, did you have anything else on the electric department?
Nope.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank everybody also. I already stole my thunder, but thank everybody for the 4th of July. It was a grand success. The numbers are looking very well, above and beyond everything that we expected. We've yet to get a hard number, but we were over on, I'd say, 3/4 of the amounts.
Nice.
As far as what we budgeted.
Wow.
We had a lot of people step forward. There was a good transition as far as the way we went about parking, and we had some children's events that we didn't have in years past, and we had a lot of people just come up and thank us for doing the things that were different, and also thankful that it
Absolutely.
was a succession year, that there was no
Yeah.
lapse in
Problems.
fireworks.
Yeah, no, that's
and
great.
The parade was a success. We had less than a dozen plates left over for the pancake breakfast, which was pretty good, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Any budget committee yet?
No, we have not met
Have
in the
not
month of
met.
July.
So I attended the same meeting, and, yeah, it seemed, considering the heat, most of the issues were people-oriented, not functional. And they seem to have worked well as a group, so it was a good inaugural
That's
year
good.
for...
That's great.
I'm glad we got your thumbs up.
I just have one more thing before we
Yes.
close. I had something to give to the Historical Society, because it's our 150th year. I found this in an antique shop way up north, and it's an Ashland Centennial button, July 20th through 27th, 1868 to 1968.
Wow. Who's the picture?
I'm not sure if it's Abe Lincoln, but
Oh.
I think it's a
No,
little
it must-
strange.
It must
All right.
be the winner of the beard contest.
Okay, great.
So
Thank you.
I'm giving that to David.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also encourage the electric department, the commissioners, either Mr. Foley or one of the commissioners to, like, the water and sewer
Yes.
does, to come and give us a report.
Thank you.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I
that'd be
was
great.
just going to suggest that, so I'm glad you did.
No, I did.
I know that Charlie got a lot of positive feedback on his summary. It showed that we,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
we've been working, and I'd love to hear
That was
from the
great.
departments. I'd love to hear, from DVW. I'd like to hear from the library. This is good stuff.
Thank you
yeah.
for the Friends of the Library.
The
Yes,
library
yeah.
report.
The Friends of the Library book sale netted over $700 2 Saturdays ago.
Wow.
Yes, thankfully the weather had changed,
Yeah.
so it wasn't
Yeah.
scorching hot, but
Right.
it was,
Like it was at Swampscott.
yes.
Yeah.
It's gone up steadily the last few years.
Fabulous.
and
Yeah, they do
almost
marvelous
two- Almost $200.
That's a
more than
great
last year.
sale.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great sale.
Next, anything else? Any select board items, any other liaison reports? Okay, public comments? Yes, no? All right, in that case, I will entertain a motion to go into non-public.
Yeah, it's under
Yes?
B. It's under B. Should be B.
It should be B, pursuant to RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2,
Eli.
small letter b,
Eli.
which is
Hiring.
hiring.